Good afternoon, this is Makarov owner. Just wanted to talk for a couple of minutes. It's been a troubling day. I woke up this morning, my wife telling me that a whole bunch of people were shot down in Nevada. Hundreds of people shot in Nevada. And where am I? I'm coming out the reloading bench. Why not? Because I do it whenever I have the opportunity. So to the people that were injured, from the bottom of my heart and from that of my family, we're deeply saddened by what has happened. Moving on from that, I'm going to plug this camera in real quick because it's going to die shortly. Okay, so there's a few things that people aren't talking about here that came to mind right off the bat. So let me tell you about who I am and some of my background for just a moment. Not that anybody really cares all that much, but I was a gun dealer back when. So I passed federal background checks and all that stuff. I was a handgun safety certified instructor for California. I was licensed for firearm sales both in Oregon first and then in California. Been hunting since I was about 14 years old. And obviously I do reloading and I have a number of guns and what have you. So there's some history. I've trained two children that are in military service, and both of them were ready and very capable of the standards that the military wanted from them, evidently. So I was happy to find that out after the fact. Okay, now having said this, my understanding is that there were two windows broken out, and behind those windows you had two different shooting locations. It was also stated by Hannity that there was a divider wall in this room. And the troubling thing that occurred to me right when my wife told me was that there's 8 or 10 guns that were found in this room right off the bat. And, realistically, if a single shooter was going to be going someplace, they may have 1 or 2 rifles. And if they're going to be doing a large volume of shooting, they might want 2 or maybe 3 because the barrels are going to get hot. If I shoot my 308 a bunch of times, the chamber can start getting sticky and the barrel can start heating up and you might lose accuracy and stuff. But we're talking about shooting into a crowd of thousands of people. I mean, if I'm correct, they're saying like 20-something thousand people down here in this crowd. We're shooting into a barrel packed full of fish. So, I mean, no offense whatsoever. All I'm doing is analyzing in a way that other people might not. And maybe saying some stuff that other people aren't saying. So, that's what I'm here to do at the moment. So, you got 2 busted out windows, 2 shooting locations. You got 8 or 10 rifles. Depending on types and calibers and all that kind of stuff, that's an awful lot of hardware and a lot of different ammo to keep sorted out and that kind of stuff. I mean, if I look at my collection, evidently this guy was 60-something years old. It makes no sense. And they're saying that this man has no political history and blah, blah, blah. No religious ties, any of that kind of crap. Which, if you do, I'm not calling anybody's stuff crap. I'm just saying there isn't anything that they can point to for this particular individual. To say that one person was in that room makes no sense to me, and I don't have any inside information of anything. I'm just hearing the same stuff that you're hearing, but I'm applying a little bit of my own background to it in reality of dealing with firearms. So you have 2 different shooting locations. It sounds like a divider wall. It makes sense to have 2 or more shooters at those windows. And, I would say there was at least 2. But each one of those windows, depending on the size, there could be 2 people at each window for all I know. And this guy, even though he rented the room, was he the one doing the shooting? I don't know. You don't know. Evidently, the police say that they believe he committed suicide. Was he the guy doing the shooting? I don't know. For his family, I hope that it comes to light that he wasn't, and that somehow he was a victim, although I don't want the man to be a victim. I don't want any of you folks to be victims. So now if we back off from that for just a moment, those were just my initial thoughts. In secondary thoughts, I go, okay, I'm concerned for myself, and I'm concerned for anybody like me that enjoys firearms and gun shows and hunting and fishing and outdoors activities. Anybody that voted for Donald Trump, anybody that likes to go to country music concerts. You know, my wife would have been in that crowd if we lived in Vegas. I guarantee you she would have, and she'd have had probably a buddy or two, and maybe I'd be down there. So, you know, a lot of sympathy. Honestly, my heart's broken that this has happened to people, and hopefully it's not people that you folks know directly. If it is, I'm deeply sorry. But back to what I was saying. If we step back for just a moment and we think about, you know, why do these things happen? And who benefits, okay? On the conservative side, we don't benefit. Not whatsoever. Because all the leftist politicians are going to be coming after us and trying to go gun grabbing. That's the first thing they do every single fucking time, excuse my language. They're going to be making legislation for higher restrictions on people that didn't do anything. And the one guy that might know something is dead. Isn't that convenient how they're always dead? Every single fucking time they're dead. You know, why is that? And who benefits from this? Let's see, cable news agencies, they benefit. Political parties benefit, at least the left side. God knows how many leftist politicians are going to get donations from Bloomberg and from everywhere else, and Brady campaign is going to be out there receiving a lot of money. NRA might receive some money from people like me because, quite frankly, we know what's coming. We've seen it before. We're attacked no matter what. And we don't have to lift a finger to go out there and hurt anybody for us to be attacked by the millions. It's just the way it is. And unfortunately, I mean, there's going to be people that are in that crowd that are just like me, that maybe they don't show you videos of reloading, but they might have a gun or two. They might enjoy fishing or hunting. They might live out in the country. They might have voted for Donald Trump. You know, I mean, any number of things. They might go to church. Whatever their thing is, that's fine. You know, we're each supposed to be able to do this stuff, right? I mean, it's not that big a deal. I'm not taking my stuff and going out and hurting anybody with it, and I shouldn't be a victim of the leftist progressive politicians because they decide that they want to attack me because some terrorist, and let's be frank about this. This was a terrorist who did this, that attacked all these people. And all of these news organizations are going to be making a bunch of money, and all these politicians and all the active anti-gun leftists, they're all going to be getting money in by the boatloads. So if we're looking for motivation and we're following money, we look at them. Now, why is it that this guy is dead? I mean, dead men tell no tales. And if you had 2 busted out windows, I'm saying there's at least 2 shooters. At least 2 shooters, if not more. Now, if we're looking at the hardware involved, multiple rifles are more chances of getting discovered importing that kind of crap into a room. You got more calibers potentially to keep all your stuff sorted out and organized and what have you. That's why I say for one person, if you're going to be doing something like that, you're going to set up maybe with 2 or 3 rifles. If I'm going to go out and target shoot myself, not shoot myself, but go out and target shoot, I take probably 6 guns with me every single time. And because a lot of times I'm testing reloading stuff and I'm developing accuracy and that kind of stuff. But in that kind of a situation, you're going to want to get in the building, do your thing, blend in. And yeah, I mean, if this guy was sitting there for a week, he had plenty of time to set up. But it makes no sense to me that there's only one man here. And it stinks. And, you know, another thing that comes to mind is that Hillary Clinton pops up again in the media like a week ago, right? And she's one of the first ones out here pushing gun control this morning. And how is it that a week ago we didn't see hardly nothing of the bitch? And today here she is pushing gun control after such a tragedy. And if this guy got this room like a week ago, it's funny that she shows up like a week ago. She might not have anything to do with it other than trying to capitalize on this. Maybe she thinks she's going to run for president again. I don't know. But she's a wicked woman, and I put nothing past her. And my understanding was that even one of the attorneys for CBS, the news network, was fired today because they were happy that a bunch of those folks got shot and killed that they, called, Trump supporters in whatever way. So, the left will have no negatives from this, and you should keep this in mind. The left has no negatives to this whatsoever because their people didn't die. It wasn't the left that died. It was the conservatives that died and got shot. The people that enjoy country music, that enjoy rural life, that just want to be left alone. Those are the people that got shot by this crazy bastard. But I don't think it was just one. I would say, there could be anywhere from one to possibly two people at each window. And if we're thinking about it, most guns eject out the right side, right? Lever guns usually go out the right side if it's like a Marlin or that kind of thing, but we're not talking about lever guns here. So if you're looking at bolt actions, almost always eject out the right. If you're looking at a semi-automatic, which with the volume of the shots and so forth, it's probably a semi-automatic. Most of those still go out the right side. So if you have two shooters at one window, that guy next to you could be getting nailed with brass, potentially. I don't know if any of these rifles were scoped. I haven't seen any pictures of any of them or anything. But if you're in that situation, do you really want to be getting hit with hot brass? It freaking hurts, man, if it goes down your shirt or whatever. It's kind of one of those things. So I would be more inclined to think that you had probably one shooter at each window, but at least two people. And this guy that they claim committed suicide, he's an elderly man, supposedly, even though history, I'm a little bit critical, and I don't know how he really ends up working into this or doesn't, other than it was his room. He was there and they found him. And it's just not good for anybody. It's not good for us. As a country, it's not good for you, the families that got hurt and killed. It's not good for anybody. And anyway, you guys have a good day. And for the NFL, get the fuck off your knees and stand at attention because you got no pride. And I don't know when the last time it was you ever got down the field while you're on your knees. Did you? You're not helping anybody down there giving in. Stand up and be men, especially at times like this. Have a good day. Take care.